Alright, picked up a couple of control arms from mid-years, mid-80s, something like that, I guess. I don't remember. I'll have to look at the picture. Anyway, it's off 720, Nissan 720. What I need to do, though, is use it for testing. And there's no way to move that link in there. Even if I bolt it to the shock tower, I still can't move it more than about an inch or so. So I either need to put some Delrin ones in to hold position for testing, some aluminum ones. I may already have something. But you can see the bushing here. There's a flange on the outside. This is one out of another arm. So what you do basically here, for anybody who hasn't done this before, once you take the nuts off and that stuff, you push the arm, or the pivot, the shaft here, let's call it the shaft, push the shaft out. That pushes that bushing out. The whole thing comes out. Then you come back in from this side and push this bushing out. When you put it together, you push one bushing in, put the shaft in, put the bushing on, then push the bushing in, and that's how it gets captured. So, so let's see here. As long as we're sitting here, let's see if we can pop these up. Absolutely love that thing. Taking it a scrap here, it takes all the work out of it. So, I'll reset up when I get over at the press. I shut the camera off and then picked it up to take to the press and realized, hey, I get the pivot I need now. So, I'm just simply going to put these back on lightly and not crank them down, and then I can just leave the bushings in. I don't have to press them out. That's awesome. So, that's what we're going to do. Well, okay, so I've got the 720 arm. Now this is actually the arm, because on the 720 the shock towers are turned, okay? This is actually the arm for the other side. I'm working on the driver's side here. This is actually the passenger side arm. I don't know if it's stamped or not, but that's basically what it is. So, let's get it anchored in. Now, Wayno pointed this out to me, which is why I went and got these. Basically, I need to make a, the holes are way too big because they use a like 12 or 14 millimeter bolt in there. But for my first initial cursory check right here that I want to do, this is going to be good enough. So, I want to get that back up there. Alright, let's put another one in. So, basically what the jig I welded to the outside here and put a slot in there that now allows me to run through the range of motion on the suspension here. So, I'm just going to snug these down enough to hold that. So, yep, this is wow. That looks like it's almost exactly where I have that lined up. We measured it yesterday, ballpark of 3.5 degrees. So really, all this thing is going to need, I think, is just to have some spacer put in the back here. I was thinking it was going to be 1 1/8 inch, 1 1/4. Then when I first kind of just started to hook it up, I didn't have the hub bolted in up here, so it almost looked like it was only going to be 1/4 inch off. But once I get a couple of bolts in here, we'll get a much better idea. So, I always wanted to do all this in CAD, get all the measurements and that stuff, but holy cow, man, I am just not good enough to do that. At least not yet. So, let me grab the tape measure. With the bolt pointing at the hole there, we're looking at 5/8 of an inch Jeez. 9/16. So I think best thing would do is put some 1/2-inch spacers in there and then use body shims from that point. So I'm going to get on that. Well, let's see how this works. We're going to take the lug nuts off, take the studs out, and see how it works through the range of motion. We've got our all-thread here as a
shock emulator.
exactly.
Right. Okay, you're out. Oh, bump stoppage. Awesome.
All right, perfect. That's what we wanted. Now, I think we need to like have a plate tacked across there or something like that because it's going up inside.
Right. So in actuality, it'd be more here.
Right, which
gives us a good.
But the bump stop could get cut down a slight bit too to compensate for that. And 620 arms have those stops on them anyway, which would actually stop it way higher. They'd actually have to be cut off.
Right.
So yeah, so let's see what it looks like going up through the. And we. Oh, what are we hitting? Because we're not.
I don't know. We're hitting right here.
No, I got a feeling we're at the ball joint travel.
Yep.
Okay, but here's the thing.
With this rubber snuggly bubber in there.
If we put the bump stop in there, which I can't quite. So just lift it up and I'll just hold it.
I can really
No, just lift it up and until it touches. And, yeah, see, so we're nowhere close to.
Yeah, so definitely have to cut that down. But you could cut that in half easily, and still not.
Right, because I'm looking at 1.5 inches easy.
Yeah.
Pretty close to 2 inches there, but.
Look at that.
To the underside where it touches, it's 1 3/4. Nice. And this thing.
So you definitely have to cut that because you don't have a ton of where that bumper was. You didn't have a ton of travel.
Right.
That's badass right there, though.
Nice. And basically that's at 3.5 degrees of caster. And all we've done to make this arm work is to put, I think it's 9/16. Yeah, it's not even quite, yeah, it's not, the nut is 9/16 thick. And here, let's take it out of here and get a little bit different. Okay, so basically we just got a 9/16 nut in there. The bolts are just simply long enough to hold it right now. This is just proof of concept testing. So, and 2 body shims. So basically when we did that, we had the hub bolted here in space where we wanted it exactly. And at that point, this arm dropped right down on top of that ball joint and we put the nuts in. We didn't have to tweak or fight or push anyway. So with the arm all the way forward, and we've got it set all the way forward because the torsion bar is not going to be happy with this arm being pulled back. Okay, the torsion bar is a certain length. The torsion bar comes up against that sun bolt. So the arm does need to be forward. That creates a slight extra angle on the shock there, but the shock's got a rubber bushing. Really shouldn't care too much. It still clears everything. Actually, body-wise, we might not have enough clearance here with the shock.
Should we throw the shock in there and see?
Yeah, so we're probably going to have to check it with the shock too. But so far, we're looking at 3.5 degrees caster. Camber I haven't been really too worried about because camber, once this is all figured out and everything, can be shimmed in or out. So yeah, that looks perfect. So as long as I'm here, basically this, we've sectioned this arm roughly 1.1 inches. I think it needs about 1 1/4 inches because you can see that we've still got about 1/8 of an inch gap there. Shock angles and everything all line up correctly and that stuff. So this is our next biggest hurdle is the tension control rod. And once that's figured out, this is, and the tie rod. Sway bar and tie rod on. Yep. So we're about halfway.
And we figured out the steering, right?
Not yet. Close.
Yeah.
So we're still working on this. Basically what we're looking at here is we've taken the control arm from the other side. Actually, it's for the control arm from the driver's side. Flipped it upside down. What we're exploring here is the possibility for a lowered truck, because we've already proven that we have enough range of motion, bump stop to bump stop and everything, with the passenger side arm on here, 3.5 degrees of caster. Everything looks good that way for stock ride height vehicle. This is purely experiment for a lowered vehicle, okay? So the arm would be there if the bolts were in. Now, as soon as I lift it just a tiny bit, so this would only go down maybe a half an inch the most, and the ball joint would bind. So if we consider that the lower limit of travel on a lowered vehicle, then, geez, come on. Anyway, if that's the lower limit, now we take these out and we see just how high we can go if we can get all the way up to where we're hitting metal on metal instead of the bump stop.
Yep.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Is it?
Something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Where the opening is right here. All
Right.
right. You got that?
Yep.
Let's let me get in a little closer there. Whoa. Okay, so basically we're hitting right in here. See that right over here, where the go ahead and lower it down just a bit. Yeah, so if there was any kind of bump stop in here, go ahead and raise it back up. Yeah, it would hit that. Now, it would take a shorter shock and all that kind of stuff, but, you know, we kind of want to consider with this mod the guys who want to go really low.
Yeah, you would be dragging some stuff, because look where the middle of the tire is compared to the frame.
Yeah, basically, if you were trying to run 14-inch rims on this thing, your
Exactly.
scrub line might actually be at the rims. So anyway, are we going to pursue this? Not really. It's just more of a curiosity exploration while we're here kind of thing. So okay, so we've played around with a few things, but basically what we're looking at here, there's our shock adjustment. That's our full, that's compared. That bolt is got nuts at it at the two outer limits of the shock. So now what we did is we took the bump stops out. Okay, and we're basically coming down and we're hitting the end of the shock travel. But if we lift it up just a bit, we can put a urethane bump stop in here to to get us keep us from using our shock as our travel limit. So then we can go ahead and take it all the way up to the top. And what we're doing is we're hitting down here. Can I get in there? If I remember right, we're hitting right in there somewhere. Oh, I can't quite get in there. But I'm pretty sure we're hitting down there somewhere. I think we already tested it once, and I don't think we're at the limit of the ball joint.
No, I think we're good.
And if you look at when it's all the way up, okay, that's one finger. So the normal bump stop could have some of it cut off and allow it to go lower. Of course, if some clearancing was done in here, it could go even lower too then. So that's for somebody else to play with. I don't think we're going to be really pursuing that for the most part.